Hello YouTube, we are here today to talk about bulking, cutting, maintenance, and where to start. With all the information that's out right now, you can, be vegan, you can do keto, you can do intermittent fasting. It's really confusing to figure out where to start. I'm going to try and keep it super simple. So I'm going to start by describing what like bulking, cutting, and maintenance is. We'll start by introducing calories. So every day your body burns a certain amount of calories. For example, we'll say it's 2,000 calories. If we are bulking, per se, when people use the term bulking, they are eating in a surplus, which means they are eating over their 2,000 calories that their body burns every day. Now, if people say they are cutting, what they mean is that they are eating lower than what their body is burning every day. If people are eating at maintenance, then they are eating exactly 2,000 calories every single day. So let's start first with bulking and what kind of things happen when you bulk. So when you're eating in a surplus, right? And depending on how big that surplus is. So let's say you're eating 200 calories over your maintenance calories, what you burn in a day. So generally what entails in a bulk is muscle gain, and depending on how big your surplus is, a little bit of fat gain. The most optimal way to put on muscle is to eat in a surplus. Now that's not saying that you can't gain muscle in maintenance or even when you're cutting. One thing I want to clear up is that you don't have to eat, and the more you eat, the more muscle you're going to put on, but that's not necessarily true. A lot of those calories are just going to be stored as fat, and they're not being used to build muscle at that point. So when you bulk, you want to minimize fat gain. That way, so when you decide to cut down, that you don't have to diet even harder because you put on so much body fat trying to dirty bulk. You will gain a little bit of fat. Yes, that is kind of just a given when you're in a bulk, and you can minimize that by trying to avoid that idea that you have to keep eating to put on muscle. Now let's talk about cutting. Cutting just means that you're eating a little bit under your calories for the day. So for example, if you burn 2,000 calories every day, if you are cutting, you are eating in a calorie deficit. So you would eat maybe 1,800 calories for the day. And if you want to lose body fat, the most optimal way to do that is to be in a calorie deficit. Now, that's not saying that if you burn 2,000 calories every day that, okay, now I want to lose body fat, I'm going to eat 1,000 calories every day. You definitely don't want to do that, because if you're thinking in the long run, how long are you going to be able to sustain a 1,000 calorie diet? And that's when you see a lot of times people fail. When they say that, oh yeah, I'm going on a diet, and then 2 weeks later they're, eating a bunch of whatever it is, and they're like, oh yeah, like I just can't do it. Basically, you want to diet on the highest amount of calories as possible, right? No one wants to diet on low calories, and that's why sometimes bulks can be beneficial, because if you're going on a bulk, you're going to put on muscle, which means you're going to burn more calories at rest, which means that essentially you can cut down on higher calories. Okay, so the next thing I want to introduce is maintenance calories. So with bulking and with cutting, they have their pros and cons, right? And the maintenance is kind of right in the middle. So basically this just means you're eating the same amount of calories that your body is burning every day. So essentially, if you're eating at maintenance calories, you're maintaining your body weight. You shouldn't be putting on fat in a maintenance stage. When I ask my clients and stuff what their goals are, usually it's some sort of, I want to tone up and lose body fat. So basically what they're saying is I want to gain a little bit of muscle and lose body fat at the same time. And if that's your goal, then a maintenance stage is absolutely perfect. The only thing with sitting at maintenance calories is that putting on quality muscle takes a very long time, even in a bulk. So if we're sitting at maintenance, the only issue is that it takes a long time to see those changes. It's called body recomp. That's a stage when your body can lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, and the only issue with it takes a very long time, a little bit longer than, let's say, if you were to cut down and lose body fat. You'd lose body fat faster if you were to cut a little bit. Okay, so now that I've introduced them a little bit, you kind of have an idea. Just want to talk about you know, how do you decide which one is best for you? Like I said, bulking is the most optimal time to put on muscle, cutting, most optimal time to lose fat, and maintenance, you can do both, but it takes a long time. You know, if you are looking to just, you know, take it day by day, you don't want to make a bunch of changes yet, maybe sitting at maintenance calories might be a lot better for you. It takes a little bit longer, but you don't get some of the negatives that come with cutting or bulking. Now, when we are talking about bulking, you don't necessarily have to go on a bulk to put on muscle. If you want to put on muscle faster, then yes, maybe going on a bulk is a great option for you. And now, if we are talking about cutting, dieting for people just in general is a lot harder than bulking because there are so many body changes that your body goes through as you're dieting for X amount of time. You know, the longer you diet, the more you're going to see these effects like increased hunger and decreased energy levels, or sometimes just even when you're cutting, it's just mentally tiring. So I did mention a little earlier that in a calorie deficit, you can put on muscle, especially if you're a newbie. Like I said, to optimize muscle growth, you want to be in a calorie surplus. But for some people, for example, if you're considered overweight, maybe bulking isn't a great option for you. While you are cutting, you can put on muscle. Is it optimal? No. But if you are overweight, bulking and putting on more weight wouldn't necessarily be a good option for you. Maybe cutting down, putting on some quality muscle, maybe sitting at maintenance. You know, it's all about your goals and how you want to go about that. Honestly, it's your body. So however you decide to go about your nutrition, as long as it is within reason and you're getting in the proper amount of nutrients, and you're not really restricting yourselves and you're thinking about it in the long run, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I kind of just wanted to clear some things up because it can be really, really hard to figure out where to start. I hope this helps, and if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. That's it. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.